What's good, family? Welcome to Discipline Stoner Studio Weed Bar, aka side of my kitchen, aka next to the most banging golden potatoes you'll ever taste. These are Ellevan's rips, and I've been meaning to do these for a minute, where I sit down and just kind of give you a piece of my mind, a piece of my ass. I don't know why I say things like that. No, I actually do. It's diagnosed Tourette, so I just go with the flow. I've built a career out of it, kind of. But yeah, I don't want these to be like a weekly pressure. I don't want to feel like I'm having to do these and dilute the topics for me, because we cover so much stuff on the podcast that I really get to hash a lot out. But there's some stories that I would just like to give to you. Some experiences that I've had in my life that I feel have shaped my perspective. And if you're new to the podcast or new to me, you might be almost like a little bit shocked at how I behave. That's the common reaction, that this guy's like not normal. And I love that. I always have. But I thought it'd be cool to kind of upload my perspective justifications in little stories. Not that I have to justify anything to anyone, but this is purely entertainment for myself and you guys. So let me start choosing some cannabis from our weed bar, and I'll tell you a story about hope/faith/ like looking forward to. There's just a lot I want to touch on there, and it stems from a story that I recently realized affected me since childhood. But let's choose a weed. We got MTL cookies and cream. That's been pretty good. I'm kind of up though right now. Don't need too much. Up Sunset Sherbet. That's a heavy one. Oh yeah, BC Platinum GSC. Let's go for that. Okay, so when I was growing up, I grew up in Vancouver. Actually, a suburb of Vancouver first. It was Richmond, BC is where I grew up as a kid. And this was a suburb, and you didn't see too many celebrities whatsoever. I went to school, I went to like 4th grade with like Blue, who played for the Grizzlies, the Vancouver Grizzlies. They used to have an NBA team. So I went to school with like his daughter, and he was like a starter on the Grizzlies. So that was like the biggest thing when he'd come pick up his daughter. We'd all kind of flip out. That was cool. So I was at the mall one day, and I was getting shoes with a friend, and my mom had given me the money to go get the shoes. And there was this song that was so hot at the time. It was like just the number one on the charts, at least in like the radios that we were listening to. And it was the Rascals, like Misfit is one of the guys, and Red One is one of the other guys. Like the Rascals, gotta get in where you fit in. That shit was fire, son. Oh man, that was it was such a good song. Like, I fucking loved it. So I didn't even know that these guys were like Canadian. And then you learn that, and then I guess with the powerful imagination of a child, of course, or just being a present being, you manifest. These guys were in there buying shoes too one day at Richmond Center. Misfit was the tall guy, the tall light skinned guy. He was awesome, and he was getting some Jordans, and I walked up to him like, "Hey, are you part of the Rascals? I think I knew his name. Are you Misfit from the Rascals?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, yeah." I was like, "Are you serious? Are you really?" "No, you're not." And he's like, "Why would I lie?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, cool. You're him. Okay." And I see it in your face now and everything. And I'm like, "Dude, could I have an autograph?" He's like, "Yeah, man." And then like the guys from Foot Locker got me a piece of paper and a pen. And it was just so cool. And it's such a rejoicing story as I tell it here now. I must have been in like grade 6, maybe before that, grade 5. What was I doing at the mall alone? Actually, I did start going to the mall alone pretty early. And look how great I turned out. So you should definitely let your kids do that and acclimate to society and find their identity. But on this autograph, sweetest dude, he wrote, so he gave me his autographs. He was so kind, he was nice. He gave me a handshake, and then I just let him continue on shopping for shoes and moved on. On this autograph that I had on my wall for years, he writes like rascals, like misfit, and then he wrote like stay tuned, and he wrote stay tuned on it. And when he wrote it, I was like for what? You know, and like there would be something more exciting outside of like what that experience was. And I thought about how much later as an adult, as someone who has signed autographs now, which is crazy, it would serve someone so much better to write something about the culture or the moment that they already have. That is something that you can already like reflect on, like quote your song lyrics or something. Like the way, for those of you who don't know the stories, like they were kind of a one-hit wonder as far as like the charts go, or as far as culture that like comes and goes. Like ICP is one of like just fundamentally like as far as rap goes, like it's just awkward and weird. Like it's like the most like offbeat music that you'll ever hear almost, but like they have such a solid core fan base. And I was like thinking about it, like so many even Canadian artists before Drake, ones that like stayed in Canada, ones that didn't go down south, because you know those are like the Michael Bublé's and like the people that you kind of hear about in the mainstream. It's like what fizzles out, I'm not sure. Like there's no telling to what the techniques are of that. But anyway, I just wanted to go. I can't justify people's careers. I don't know. I'm trying to like make it sound better, but I'm thinking when he wrote "Stay Tuned" and then nothing happened. Sorry, when he wrote "Stay Tuned" and nothing happened, it was like a little bit heartbreaking as like a kid fan who like met this person, connected himself. That's why I always want to like do well and do better for people who believe in me. But it's like the fact that he said stay tuned and nothing happened, and I don't know, it like broke a promise kind of to me, as much as it was so well intentioned, and it was actually his intention to connect the fan, to say, hey, keep following me. But there was no follow through on their part, I guess it felt like, as a fan. And I know times were just different then. So I believe like if they could have like put out a mixtape on their Bandcamp, and I would have got it then, you know, that they would have. Like I would listen to Swollen Members because my mom got me like their CD. And they were like, that's a Canadian act and they do rap. Yeah, so and then I spiraled into this really weird, because I wanted to explore something I said on the podcast, that I said it seems as though for the past decade, with any amount of success I've maintained has been after the step of owning in my mind that I've failed already, so I'm starting from failure. And I'm like, why do I feel so defensive about like hope? You know, because I'm very optimistic, and when I do something with faith, I fucking just do it. I just become it and get it done and be it, and then manifest whatever from there. But like when I'm in that mode of, hey, look forward to, I think my dad never really delivered on a lot. Like he would always put so many things in tomorrow, even for himself. He'd more likely keep a promise to me or someone else than himself. And then so it's kind of like what you watch your parents do as well. I don't like it. I don't like when you have to wait. You know, I don't like just be patient. Like, no, like I want to do something about it. You know, I'm ready. I'm aligned. Let's go. You know, I'm impatient too. But most cool things that happen almost happen like here, like out of, like you couldn't have guessed it. Like, you work for everything you work for daily and you inch towards your goal, and then before you know it, you're like, oh fuck. Same with working out. You're like, you don't see any progress. Again, Malcolm Gladwell, tipping point. Like, you see nothing. It looks like plateauing. It looks like nothing. It looks like you're doing something for nothing. And then all of a sudden, poof, that shit snaps. Or it gets reinvented, like the hush puppy in that book, Tipping Point. So yeah, it's like I guess I feel like I shouldn't need the promise of tomorrow to like do good today. Yeah, that's really what is going on, is like, well, I can't control if the result comes. I can't control if what I'm staying tuned for doesn't happen. And another point I never talked about a lot with my childhood and my mom, and wild cool shit that I'll probably write scripts about later. But there was so much expectation and disappointment and heartbreak that I just couldn't take it. So, like, even my mom had an amount of shares that she was like holding on to for a while. And then when she tried to cash it, like, we were doing like lists of what we were going to do, what we were going to buy, where we were going to go, how we were going to eat. And my mom kind of just very messily knowing the rules of manifestation, just like by glimpse, by her own intuition, never any reading about it or anything. And understanding how it is quantum physics. And it will be understood more and more that, like, you can measure how far along humans are on understanding this by how well we can currently measure the auratic energy that a being gives off. So that's starting to understand quantum physics on like an applicable, everyday, pragmatic level. And then you ask yourself why that's important. Exactly. So you have to learn why knowing where your frequency at is valuable, instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it. And yeah, look, straight up and down, now that I'm here alone, like, I don't like Western medicine as a form of preventative medicine, because it's not preventative medicine. It's post. You break your arm, fucking bet your ass I want a trained, clean, lovely doctor to help put that shit back together. But the lie of pharmaceuticals for preventative medicine is complete bullshit, up and down, left and right, unless it's vitamins. That's it. But you can get that from food, because food's a medicine. So I'm going to keep being that fucking asshole that triggers you and tries to make you take responsibility for your garbage, because you know that you can't really... You can turn me off right now, and some of you may. But if you wish to stick with it and manifest that good and go through that challenge and create it for yourself, you'll find the same joy that you feel in the belief that I have in you, us, this thing, talking mindful, creating awareness, this thing that we have together. If you want to go through it, all that value that you want is right there. And I'm talking to myself too. I'm talking to myself about working out, stricter eating habits, creating room for better sleep, drinking more water, all these micro things you can take responsibility for throughout your whole day. And you realize if you're thinking about doing good, right, in the moment, without that hope for the future, without that stay tuned, without that tomorrow, without that next time, without that next year, without that bullshit flaky excuse that falls through every time, and you're just willing to be the best you in the moment because you can. You can't control what you will even be tomorrow. You could have an addiction that takes you and totally fucks up your day tomorrow. You don't know. Like, but you can control right now. So, like, let's tune into that, because, like, you can just understand where your vibration in your heart is at now. I think the beef I have with hope and later, hope is a beggar. You know, faith is the let's go. You know, I've done this already. I'm doing this. I'm actively doing this with faith, you know, and that doesn't look polite all the time. And that's taking it, not asking for permission. It's rather asking for forgiveness if anyone has a problem with it. But You can't really base yourself on it. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here a little bit on the hope idea, because I want to return to that, because I want to fully express the thought holistically. And that's, I guess I did just cover why I don't like placing things in Tomorrowland, because tomorrow never happens. It's always now. It's always today. But when someone makes a promise, here's the problem with it. When someone makes a promise, I know, because my own experience, and I know from humans who I watch live their life, family and whatever, friends, and I know that when you talk about something too early, that you bust the bubble of it. Now, what do you mean bust the bubble? There's a momentum. In order for you to talk about this ideal, right? Any manifestation that you want to move towards is just an ideal. And we use our ideas to manifest them, right? You go through all these different ideas. You like some, you don't like some. You're shifting, sorting through the contrast, and then you land on your ideals, the ones that you want to build and move towards. That need of the result to work on them just doesn't do it for someone who has to put in the work. It's not like one day I'm going to build a castle and sit on my castle. You have to be in love with laying bricks. And it's like, what are you looking towards? What are you promising yourself? Like the Grammys, I want to win a Grammy because I'm a songwriter. It's a great goal. Very simple goal. It's a large goal, but it's very simple. I like laying those bricks. Every song I write, I don't care if it's the one almost. At this point, it's just what I do. And then some may be more viewed than others. And that's the difference. But for me, they're all my children. They're all my babies. And some are more developed than others. That's all. Yeah, but the clarity that comes from not worrying about what you can't control in the future. Stay tuned. Something big is... And I'm so over social media. You'll notice I'm not on Instagram very much anymore. I'm posting more long-form content like this because I just want to have a conversation. Like, if you want to take a snippet of this and share it, please do. Screen record it, post it, tag me, whatever you want to do. But really, I just want to keep this here for our sake of taking responsibility, and I'll date back to it too. But yeah, these are my little rips. These are my rips of what does Ellevan want to talk about. I want to cover these little ideas of self, and I've escaped so much disappointment in my life by almost being like a core root pessimist that I think I'm now kind of training myself to be more like fluidly optimistic, because I think where you get heartbroken is when you think like, I hope, or like, stay tuned to this like thing in the future that will define our experience closer together or something like that. Like it's as though, and it's good to look forward to shit, but just like the anxiety built by social media announcements or that type of language where you're always placing it in the future, it's exhausting. Like, maybe I've lived an exciting life enough. I think maybe sometimes you just need things to look forward to, and that's cool too. But like, I don't know if it does more good. You kind of got to weigh those things. But fuck, man, I don't know. I'm just chilling out here, smoking weed, making music, making podcasts, talking to you guys. And it feels good. So I love you. Stay tuned. And look forward to future episodes. Oh man, it's impossible, right? It's just like, It's like going to a bar and not drinking. That's not impossible, actually. That's a lot of people do that. I do that. I don't even like to drink that much anymore. But we can have fucking cannabis drinks now. Anyway, just be happy with now, I feel. You always want to work towards something. But I think the disconnect is when you profess it to someone else, you lose some momentum on your like thought vortex train about that thing. So just keep it. Just keep it in your heart and your head. So you manifest it and then people can see it. That's what I'm going to try to do. Okay, peace, bye.